Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Chemical Guys Detail Garage. Today in the shop we have this beautiful Model 3 Tesla. Now the owner of this vehicle is a heavy commuter. He drives to and from work every day, 2 or 3 hours. So as you guys can see, the car is absolutely filthy. You know, it hasn't looked like he's washed it in a while. You know, you can see all the dead bugs and splatter on the front end of the vehicle. You know, you have heavy layers of grime all throughout the vehicle. The glass is filthy and the wheels have looked like they haven't been touched in over a year. So today we're going to transform this heavy commuter back to brand new, and we're also going to show you guys how to keep and maintain your Tesla looking as great as possible. So before we start with the actual wash of the vehicle, we want to make sure to clean the wheels first. Now you want to start by the filthiest areas first, because the last thing you want to do is, spend all the time of washing your car and then, have to do the wheels at the end, and then whenever you rinse the wheels, all that dirt, grime, and gunk gets back onto the paint. It's pointless to be going back and forth, having to clean the body of the vehicle, come to the wheels, and then the dirt just kind of cross-contaminating. So always start off with the wheels, and seeing that still the wheels are the filthiest, we want to make sure to knock this out as soon as possible, so that once we wash the car and we rinse it, we can just pull it into the shade, dry it, and not have to worry about drying it and then doing the wheels and so forth. So the first thing we want to do is, assess the filth on the level of the wheels that is on the wheel. So check out these tires. They're extremely brown. Like I said, this car looks like it's been going off-roading. The wheels, they do have two tones, so they have like a matte finish and they also have a glossy finish. So we want to make sure that we're extra careful with the choice of wheel cleaners that we're using. So that's why I'm using Diablo Wheel Gel. Now, Diablo Wheel Gel, it's a pH neutral wheel cleaning gel. So that's going to mean that it's safe for all wheel types, and it's a gel, so it's going to give you that lubrication so that you don't scratch any of the glossy surfaces and or the matte surfaces. So I'm going to go and start off by rinsing off the wheel. And that's just to knock off that light dust, that layer debris and filth that's on there. And I've already diluted some of my Diablo Wheel Gel in the bucket here. I'll do it again so you guys can see. So all you want to do is get a bucket full of water and put an ounce of Diablo Wheel Gel. And then all you're simply going to do is throw your water in there and activate the suds. So once you've activated the suds, it's good to go. Now you can start cleaning your wheels. I also have my Diablo Wheel Gel in one of our TORQ Foam spray triggers. Now this works out great because it sprays my product in a foamy manner. So not only am I diluting it, but the mesh filter on the sprayer is also going to shoot it in a foamy manner. So it's going to activate the suds, and it's going to start off pulling off that dirt, grime, and debris so that I don't scratch the finish of the wheel whenever I go at it with the brush. So this also works out great for the tires so that we can scrub it out and clean it at the same time that we clean the wheel. So as you guys can see, it activated the suds for me. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and move this to the side. I'm gonna grab my brushes and I'm gonna start off by cleaning the tire first. Now the reason I like cleaning my tires first is because this is the filthier areas, and then I don't have to worry about cleaning this and then getting that filth onto the tire. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just get some foam here and just start agitating the finish of the tire. And that's gonna knock off all that brown that was on there. I'm not sure if you guys can quite tell, but the foam that I'm using to scrub this with, it's actually turning very brown very quickly. And that's just because it's scrubbing off all the layers of dirt, grime, brake dust, and all the, the previous dressings that were on there. So you want to make sure that you give this a nice deep scrub with a stiff bristle brush to knock off those layers, so that whenever you rinse the tire and you dry it, whenever you apply a dressing, it's going to bond nicely and evenly. All right, so now that I'm done scrubbing the tire, I'm gonna proceed to cleaning the wheel. Now I'm using the flag tip brush because this brush, it's nice and it's soft. So it's not gonna scratch the finish of the matte and or the gloss finish. So the same thing, all I'm gonna do is grab some foam here, and I'm simply just gonna start agitating the surface of the wheel. Now, this brush works out great because it's also flexible. So that means that it's gonna go ahead and get into all these little crevices and curves without me having the need of having a different brush that's gonna allow me to get in there. So this brush works out great for scrubbing the face of your tire to get rid of that grime. And just like that, we're done. I'm gonna go ahead and set that down, and I'm gonna go ahead and rinse off the tire. And check it out, the tire looks brand new again. Well, the wheel looks like brand new again. And like I said, the reason I chose the Diablo Wheel Gel is because, you know, you never know which kind of wheel finishes you're gonna be faced with, especially with these Teslas. Like I said, you have some matte finishes and you have some glossy finishes. There are some out there that have completely matte finish wheels and some that have completely gloss finish wheels. So it's great to have this cleaner because it works out for both. So you can dilute it in a bucket, in a spray bottle, and like I said, it works out great in all occasions. So now that I've done this wheel, I'm gonna proceed with cleaning the other 3 wheels, and then we're gonna go ahead and hop into washing the vehicle. Alright guys, so now that we're done with the wheels, it's time to move on to the body of the vehicle. Now, before I start foaming it up, I do want to mention that I am going to be using our bug and tire remover. Now, I did mention that this car is a heavy commuter, so I want you guys to come step over here for a second. I want you guys to get a close-up view of what we're working on here. So as you guys can see right here, you have bug splatter, you got tar, you got a bunch of stuff on the front end, and we're going to be utilizing our bug and tire remover to go ahead and neutralize that. So the way I like using this product is I like diluting it in a spray bottle such as so to a 6:1 ratio so that it's in a sprayable form. Once you've diluted it, you can go ahead and shake it up and kind of treat it as like a pre-saturation for your front end so that once you start foaming, this is going to be kind of going on in the background. It's going to be breaking down that bug splatter. So by the time that you get to this section, it's going to go ahead and wipe off just like butter with your wash mitt. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a pre-soak. And bug and tire remover is great because it's strong and it's gonna go ahead and break this down, but it's not gonna damage the paint or any kind of, you know, plastic surfaces or any kind of sensitive surfaces. I don't know if you guys see, but it also does have kind of like a foam kind of action to it. That's because it's also considered a shampoo. So not only is it strong and it's gonna break the stuff down, but it's also slick. So whenever you go to wipe it, even if you're not gonna wash the entire vehicle, if you're gonna go ahead and do it with our wheel wedge to go ahead and clean up the front end, it's gonna work out great so that you guys can just pretty much use it like that and then just grab a separate, you know, microfiber towel and a quick detail spray and wipe it right off. All right, so now that I've sprayed that, I'm also gonna spray the mirror covers just because those usually get the bugs as well, and any other parts of your front end that get a lot of this heavy bug splatter. So I'm gonna go ahead and soak those up, and then we're gonna go ahead and come back to our foaming process. All right, so now that I've pre-saturated those areas with the bug and tar remover, now it's time to proceed with the actual wash. So in front of me, we're utilizing our 2-bucket method. We're using our 2 dirt traps to filter any kind of dirt and particles that are on the paint so that we don't scratch up the finish. These go at the bottom of your bucket and act as a filtration system for your water so that you don't get all that dirt and grime that you're getting off the car back onto your buckets and then back onto your vehicle. So those are gonna help prevent that dirt and grime from coming back and forth. To go along with it, I don't know if you guys saw, but I do have my foam blaster trigger already connected to my garden hose, which I use to go ahead and pre-soak those wheels and rinse them off. This is the foam blaster itself right here. Now, I'm using the foam blaster because it's convenient for me. You know, all I need is a garden hose. I don't need a pressure washer. I don't need any of that fancy stuff. I just need this right here and a garden hose and running water, and we're good to go. So once you're done with that, you wanna go ahead and set this up. So you wanna take off this canister here, set that down. I've already pre-filled this with water, and all you have to do once you filled it up with water is use your soap. And our soap choice for today is gonna be Citrus Wash Clear. Now, I'm using Citrus Wash Clear because it's a citrus-based product, which is gonna go ahead and break down that heavy grime that's on the vehicle, but it's also a pH neutral product that's gonna be safe for any kind of synthetic waxes or sealants. So if you have a car that's well maintained, but it's on the filthier side, this right here, it's a perfect alternative of soap to go ahead and wash a vehicle safely without stripping off any of those waxes, sealants, or ceramic coatings that are on the paint. So with this right here, all you wanna do is put about 2 to 3 ounces. So that's pretty much equivalent to 2 good squirts. I'm only gonna put 2 ounces just because the car, it's relatively filthy, but not too filthy where it has like a layer or 2 inches of mud on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it 2 good squirts. And now I'm also gonna put 1 squirt of product into my bucket here, then that's just to go back and forth. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my water supply here, activate my suds, And now all you want to do is connect the top of your foam blaster to the actual canister here. Tighten that up and you're good to go. Now all you have to do here, since this right here, it's a quick release, it's just a push in, so you don't have to pull it back. All you got to do is snap it right in and voila. So before we get into the foaming, I'm going to put my wash mitt here into my soap bucket to kind of pre-saturate. And I'm also gonna disconnect this right here just because we wanna make sure to give the car a light rinse, just like how we did with the wheels, before we actually start washing the car. So I'm gonna set that down, I'm gonna give the car a light rinse, and we'll be back to start foaming. All right, so we just finished rinsing off the vehicle. The reason we rinsed this is to get rid of that light layer of dust, debris, and any kind of grime that's on there with just the rinse of the water. Now we're gonna go ahead and connect our foam blaster and start foaming up the vehicle so that the soap can go ahead and do its job, break down that grime and uplift any kind of grime so that we don't scratch when we go for our contact wash. All right guys, so there you have it. We just finished foaming up the car. Now I can take this apart and put this over here on the side so that it's not in our way. As you guys saw, it wasn't a thick shaving cream kind of suds that you would get like a foam cannon does, but it does provide great suds and lubrication power so that you can safely wipe down your ride. So now we're gonna go ahead and grab our chenille microfiber wash mitt, and we're gonna go ahead and actually wipe it down with our wash mitt here. Now, as you guys seen multiple times on our videos, we always try to utilize straight motions whenever we wipe down our vehicle because we don't want to install any kind of scratches or swirls. With that being said, I like working from the top on the roof and then work all the way down to the windshield. And this is just to make sure that we don't get any kind of grime from the bottom of the vehicle and cross-contaminate it to the top of the vehicle. So just like the wheels, we don't want to clean the filthy parts first and then bring it onto the cleaner parts. We want to make sure that we clean and go down as we go. So make sure to go ahead and do straight motions so that if anything gets caught on our wash mitt, we don't mimic that circular motion around the vehicle and get swirl marks all throughout it. Once you've done a nice little section, you're gonna go ahead and wring that off the bucket. Get as much of that soap and water off as you can. Go into your rinse bucket here that just has water and kind of pull it all the way down to where the dirt trap meets the floor, and then pretty much scrub your wash mitt onto the surface of that dirt trap so that all that dirt and grime that's in the microfiber strands gets knocked off. And once you've wringed it at the bottom of the dirt trap, all you want to do now is rinse that out just to make sure that any dirt and grime that was still on the wash mitt is filtered outside of the bucket. And then you're going to come back to your soap bucket, get that nice and lubricated all over again, and then do another section of your car. And remember, we did soak the front end with that bug and tar remover, so I'm gonna go ahead and proceed with doing the rest of the vehicle, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get to that front end so that we can knock off any remaining bug guts that are still on there that didn't come off with that foam and that rinse. All right, so now that we're done washing the Tesla, it's time to dry it. So the towel of choice today is gonna be the Woolly Mammoth. Now, if you guys haven't seen this towel, you guys are definitely missing out. The Woolly Mammoth, it's a super great towel for drying. It's super thick, it's super huge, and it's super plush. So it's gonna go ahead and absorb all this water on this finish of this Tesla without leaving any streaks behind and or without scratching the finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and proceed to drying the rest of the Tesla, and then we'll go ahead and join you guys in the next step of this process. All right guys, so we just finished washing the Tesla, we dried it, and now we pulled it inside to the detail garage. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and apply a coat of protection onto the paint, just because, remember, this car is a heavy commuter, so we wanna make sure that the paint is always protected, not only from just the sun, but stuff from like those bug etchings. We wanna make sure that those bugs don't stick to the surface of the paint. Any kind of water, especially if we park next to the sprinklers, we wanna make sure that the paint is protected against water and any kind of mineral alkaline deposits. So to do that, we're gonna be applying JetSeal. JetSeal is a synthetic sealant that's gonna go ahead and protect it up to 12 months with just one application. This product works out great because you can virtually apply it to any of your exterior surfaces that are glossy. So such as your paint, your headlights, your glass, anything that's glossy, go ahead and apply it onto there, and it's gonna go ahead and keep it shiny and protected. To use JetSeal, you're gonna apply it just like a regular carnauba wax. So if you love using butter wet wax or any kind of wax out there like that, you know that this product applies just like a cream. So all you wanna do is apply a few drops of product. I like to apply about 4 drops to pretty much saturate it first. And then I'm gonna go ahead and blot it out onto the surface of the paint. And with this product right here, you're gonna apply it just like a wax. So just make sure to apply it left to right, up and down. We wanna make sure to apply this product in straight motions, just because, if we get anything caught on the applicator, any kind of light dust, debris, rock, stuff like that, that'll go ahead and get onto an applicator. And if we're doing a circular motion, that's gonna go ahead and mimic a swirl mark throughout the entire course of the whole paint. So go ahead and use straight motions to apply your product. Like I said, JetSeal works out great because it works on practically any glossy surface. So we just put some on the hood. Now we can go ahead and put some on the headlight to go ahead and prevent your headlights from turning yellow. This is a very common thing amongst older cars. If you don't protect your headlights properly, they're gonna start turning yellow because of the UV rays that are penetrating it. They're gonna dry out the plastic, and it's gonna cause it to have a nasty yellow kind of tinge to it. So to prevent that from happening, apply a product such as JetSeal onto your headlights, and you can also apply JetSeal to your glass. So especially if you're driving in inclement weather, if it's raining, you wanna make sure that your glass stays as best as possible, because you wanna make sure that you always have the best clarity whenever you're driving. So apply a coat of JetSeal onto your glass so that your glass is always protected from stuff like water, so that it beads it right off. And even at higher speeds, when you're going at a higher speed, it'll actually just kind of roll right off without you even having to use your windshield wipers. So this stuff works out great at keeping your glass clear and protected. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is, why aren't we polishing this car? Why aren't we cleaning this car? Why aren't we doing the full shebang? Well, that's because the owner, like I said, it's a heavy commuter and the owner doesn't have a lot of time. So we just want to make sure that we apply at least some form of protection onto his paint. And what better way to apply a coat of JetSeal? Simply because, like I said, the paint is not very contaminated. You can feel it, it's still glass smooth, and we don't have the time to polish it. Now, if you do have the time to polish it, I would recommend that you clay bar the car, give it a nice polish to get rid of any kind of imperfections, and then you're gonna apply a ceramic coating such as Hydro Charge or Hydro Slick, and then layer it with a coat of JetSeal and then your favorite carnauba wax such as butter wet wax. If that's what you wanna do, you can go ahead and do the full shebang. If you just wanna go ahead and layer your vehicle with some protection, JetSeal is a great alternative option for that. All right, so with all that being said, it's time to actually finish the rest of the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the car. I'm gonna coat all the headlights, the tail lights, the paint, and all the glass, even the glass roof, so that we make sure that this car is protected. I'm gonna let it sit for anywhere from about 10 to 15 minutes, buff it off with the microfiber towel, and then we'll be done with protecting the exterior of the vehicle. All right, so now that we're done protecting the paint, now it's time to show these tires some love. So what I'm gonna be using today is gonna be Silk Shine. Now, the reason I'm choosing Silk Shine is because it's a water-based dressing that's gonna deliver a nice, rich OEM sheen. So this is not gonna deliver a super wet, greasy looking shine. This is just gonna condition the rubber so that it has a nice, clean, brand new look all over again. So to use this, all you wanna do is make sure to clean your tires before. So as you guys saw at the beginning of the video, we did take the time to clean these wheels. We scrubbed the tires with our Diablo and our stiff bristle brush to make sure that we scrubbed off all the grime and previous dressings. And now we're gonna go ahead and enhance it and protect it. So silk shine onto a nice foam applicator here. And then all you wanna do is apply it. And check it out, right away you see that the tire looks brand new, it looks rich, it's lively, it doesn't look all faded, dull and brown again. So now it looks black, it looks clean and a lot more presentable. And the cool thing about this is that it's a dry to the touch product. So once you're done applying it, you're not gonna be left with the nasty oily film because there's no oils in this product. They're simply gloss enhancers that are gonna go ahead and rejuvenate the rubber and give it a brand new look and feel again. Check it out, and make sure to get the little inside lip as well. And you're good to go. I'm not sure if on camera you guys see it as like a really deep wet shine, but as you apply the product, it kind of starts toning down a bit and it starts giving more of a OEM kind of look to it. It has more of a rich black look. It doesn't really have a nasty greasy look. And that's the reason why I love using silk shine, because this stuff works out amazing inside and out. So if we had any kind of textured plastics or trims, which this Tesla really doesn't seem to have much of it on the exterior, so all we have to worry about is the rubber tires and we're good to go. So this product works out amazing at rejuvenating and giving that nice coat of protection. All right guys, so we just finished with the exterior of the Tesla. We just finished wiping off the layer of JetSeal and applying silk shine to the tires. So the exterior looks great. Now it's time to move on to the interior. Now Teslas do have somewhat of a different kind of interior, but I'm gonna show you guys how to go ahead and clean it and protect it using one simple product. All right, so now we're on the interior. Now, Teslas are known for having many different types of surfaces and very intricate kind of surfaces. So to begin with, the leather on these vehicles, they're not actual real leather, they're vegan leather. So that means that they're a synthetic material, along with the center console, dashboard, door panels. As you guys can see, this Tesla has a lot of different types of surfaces. You have navigation screens, you have glossy plastics. Like I said, you have the vinyl and the plastics. You have suede over here towards the door. There's an abundant amount of different types of surfaces to work on, and we're going to go ahead and minimize our cleaner to one, which is going to be total interior. Now total interior pretty much brings together 14 different types of cleaners and combines them into one. Now this right here works out great on virtually all of your interior surfaces, such as like what we're working with on this Tesla. So to begin the process, all you want to do is spray some total interior onto a microfiber towel, and this stuff works out amazing for all surfaces. So I can go ahead and use this to clean the steering wheel. Now, the cool thing about total interior is that total interior is strictly and only just a cleaner with a light UV protectant. So this is not going to add shine. This is not going to add any kind of like slick feel or anything like that, or oily feel. It's just going to clean the surface and restore it back to its original condition. And you can go ahead and agitate any kind of areas that have like heavier grime. And once you do that, flip it to a dry side of your microfiber towel and buff off any excess of the cleaner. And that's going to go ahead and set in that UV protectant that it carries as well. So it restores a nice OEM look without a nice nasty greasy look. Like I said, it doesn't look like we applied an oil-based dressing onto here. It looks nice, factory, original, and that's what we want, right? All right, so next we're going to go ahead and work on our navigation screen. We're going to go ahead and set that to stream cleaning mode, and I'm going to go ahead and lightly spray 2 more sprays onto my towel here. And as you guys can see, there's a ton of fingerprints on there. This navigation screen gets a lot of traffic from oily fingers to kids' fingers and a bunch of fingers going on there. So we want to make sure to clean that up. Like I said, we've already sprayed our towel, and all you want to do is gently wipe it down, and with little to no effort at all, flip it to a dry side and reveal that brand new streak-free and clean look to your navigation screen. Fingerprints no more. So that works out amazing. It's simply cleaning the glass. It's not, like I said, it doesn't have any oil, so it's not going to leave any streaks. It's just a mirror-free finish. So now we're going to go ahead and clean this glossy black plastic right here. As you guys can see, it's filthy. It has a lot of dirt, dust, fingerprints as well. So when you're working on a heavier, grimy surface like this, you can actually spray directly onto the surface very lightly, just to kind of give it a pre-saturation and to kind of soak up any of those fibers. And then we're going to go with our towel and simply wipe it right off. So this works out great, like I said, on glossy plastics. Oh, that opened up right there. It's going to go ahead and pick up any light dust, debris, fingerprints. So it works out great as a standalone cleaner to simply clean the interior of your Tesla without having to have so many different types of cleaners. Another great area to use your total interior is on the door panels. So like I mentioned, we do have some vinyl / plastic material, we do have some suede, and we do have some more of that synthetic kind of leather. Now, the way I like using total interior on areas like this is same thing, spray onto a towel. And you're gonna go ahead and simply wipe off any kind of light dust, debris, fingerprints, especially body oils on these areas right here, because if you like rolling around with the windows down and your arm hanging out the window, you're gonna get a lot of those body oils from your arms onto these top areas of your door panel. So it's a great idea to go ahead and use this to clean it so that your door panels, they stay nice and OEM looking and conditioned. Now, for the suede area right here, you do have some smudges right here and over here. Now, the way to use this on suede is you're not gonna spray it directly. You're actually gonna go ahead and spray it lightly onto a microfiber towel like so. And the way to use this for suede is, suede is a very sensitive material, so you don't wanna do anything aggressive. You don't wanna use a brush, you don't wanna use a strong cleaner, you definitely don't wanna use like a degreaser or something like that. So make sure to be extra careful with these suede surfaces. Get your total interior and lightly agitate it in straight motions. And this is gonna go ahead and pick up any of that grime, dust, and debris from the suede material without damaging the texture, the fibers, or any of that matter. Check it out. Looks great again, looks conditioned, and it's not damaged and or neglected. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this door panel here. Like I said, this product works out amazing because it's safe for all surfaces. So even if it gets onto the next panel or the next surface, you can continue using it without any problems. And then this area right here, especially whenever you get out the car, you get a lot of dirt, debris, and kind of like, dirt lines that stick on there. So that's a great area to address with this cleaner to, like I said, restore that OEM look to your door panels and get rid of that, that dirt and grime that's on there. All right, now the last area that we're gonna cover is the seats. Now remember, I did mention that Tesla does manufacture their vehicles with vegan leather, which is in other words, a synthetic form of a leather material, which is probably made up of any kind of vinyl / plastic mixture. So to clean these seats, like I said, total interior works out great. So you can simply spray onto your towel and wipe off any kind of body oils, jean stains if you have like a lighter colored leather, to make sure that your leather or your vegan leather stays nice and maintained. Now, if you do have some leather products that you use on your other vehicles, that's not to say that you can't use it on this vehicle. Remember, this is a synthetic material, so you can definitely go ahead and still use your favorite leather cleaner, conditioner, and any other kind of product, such as like the leather serum protectant, which is gonna add a layer of UV protection onto these leather seats and maintain that fresh OEM look on them. So if you have any of those products, like I said, don't be afraid. You can actually still use them on your leather and it still works out amazing. Or like I said, you can stick with the total interior to just maintain them, wipe off any kind of light debris, oils, and just maintain your seats that way so that, they always stay looking great. All right, guys, and there you have it. We just finished the entire detail on this Tesla. We did the exterior, we did the tires, we did the interior. You guys saw how easy it was. You guys saw how neglected it was when we first got it and how amazing it looks now. If you guys liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you learned something new today, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. And as always, if you have an idea for a future video, leave them in the comment section down below. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe so that you're always updated whenever we post a brand new video. And as always, my name is Joey. This is Chemical Guys Detail Garage. We'll see you guys next time.